Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're looking at something that affects, well, almost every professional on the planet, but it gets overlooked all the time: the spaces where we actually learn. We're exploring the science and the strategy behind optimizing our professional development environments. Specifically, we're going to unpack why natural light is an absolute game changer for adult learning, drawing on some really fantastic insights from venue experts. But before we get into the solutions, I want you to picture something, because I know we've all been there, right? You're trapped in a stuffy, completely windowless conference room. You've been sitting in the exact same chair for 8 hours, staring at a bright projector screen while the room itself is practically pitch black. By 2 p.m., absolutely no amount of lukewarm, complimentary coffee is going to keep your eyes open, let alone help you absorb complex new strategies. It's this universal feeling of just total exhaustion. But why does that actually happen? And more importantly, how do we fix it? Okay, let's dive into this. Here is a roadmap for today. We'll be covering the Adult Learning Challenge, why natural light matters, balancing light and tech, optimizing your room layout, and finally, the complete venue ecosystem. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the Adult Learning Challenge, understanding the modern delegate. So, here's the reality about adult learners. They don't walk into a training room as a blank slate. They carry baggage into the room. Actually, scratch that. I don't mean actual luggage. I mean, they're actively balancing work pressures, a million unread emails piling up on their phones, and often travel fatigue. To actually absorb new information, adults need 3 core things. First, they need immense focus, which is heavily aided by good acoustics and a distraction-free space. Second, they need sustained energy throughout the whole day. And third, they need a truly professional setting. If a room looks haphazard or gloomy, well, delegates subconsciously feel the training just isn't worthwhile. They need to feel that their valuable time is being respected. And this leads us straight to the ultimate antidote to that full-day training slump. Moving to Section 2, why natural light matters, creating a welcoming space. Now, what's really interesting here is this quote directly from the source material. A well-lit room can help support alertness, especially during longer sessions where fatigue may build throughout the day. You see, this isn't just about making a room look pretty. Natural light biologically signals our brains to stay awake. In a multi-day program where delegates have to listen, take notes, discuss ideas, and use laptops all at once, a bright, sunlit room directly influences how long they can actually stay focused, and consequently, it impacts how positively they judge the entire event. Furthermore, natural light dramatically reduces that dreaded closed-in feeling. Imagine it's day 3 of a mandatory compliance workshop. If you're stuck in a basement, the walls literally start to feel like they're closing in on you, right? The sheer mental effort required to stay engaged is just exhausting. Natural light creates this immediate, welcoming first impression. It makes the physical space feel expansive and far less tiring, giving the brain the visual breathing room it desperately needs to process new information. Which brings us to Section 3, balancing light and tech, finding the perfect mix. Now, obviously, it's not as simple as just throwing open all the windows. We have to recognize the practicalities of a modern training room, which is inevitably full of screens and presentations. On one side, we have natural light, which makes the room spacious, visually appealing, and mood-boosting. Awesome, right? But on the other side, we have the absolute necessity of controlled artificial lighting. We still need clear screen visibility, we still have evening sessions, and we desperately need to prevent glare. The best learning environments don't just pick one or the other. They master the balance between expansive natural light and highly controllable artificial lighting, using things like blinds and dimmers. So, the crucial point here is avoiding glare at all costs. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, more frustrating than trying to follow a complex spreadsheet on a projector when a beam of sunlight is completely washing it out, or having to squint at your laptop screen for hours on end. Natural light should absolutely never obscure screens, laptops, or the presenter's workspace. This means seating direction and screen positioning must be meticulously planned out long before the very first delegate even walks through the door. Let's look at Section 4, optimizing your room layout, aligning light and learning style. To manage that carefully planned light, let's walk through this matrix, because natural light should support, not hinder, your collaborative goals. If you're using a classroom layout for structured note-taking, natural light is fantastic, provided delegates have a clear, glare-free view of the main screen. Now, consider the cabaret layout, round tables for group workshops. This setup inherently feels so much more collaborative and open in a bright, naturally lit room. For a U-shaped layout, often used in leadership discussions, natural light means delegates can clearly see the facial expressions of both the facilitator and their peers. Finally, hybrid layouts. This is a big one today. Hybrid setups require perfectly balanced light so that the room cameras capture everything clearly, ensuring remote participants can actually see the facilitator and the in-room delegates without weird, distracting shadows. Let's move to Section 5 and see how this builds. The complete venue ecosystem, bringing it all together. Because as wonderful as sunlight is, it doesn't work in isolation. Natural light is not a magic wand, folks. It's just one vital piece of a much broader venue ecosystem. When you look at these essential elements, you realize that even the most beautifully sun-drenched room will completely fail if the other factors are ignored. Think about it. If the seating isn't ergonomic and comfortable for an 8-hour stretch, if the room temperature is freezing cold, or if the Wi-Fi keeps dropping out, your delegates will be miserable. You also need adequate table space for laptops and workbooks, crystal clear acoustics so no one is straining to hear, and well-timed catering to maintain those blood sugar levels. All of these elements have to harmonize perfectly with the lighting. And hey, we can't forget what happens outside the main training room. Moving to a naturally lit breakout space or refreshment area during regular breaks is absolutely essential. These spaces provide vital reset time. They facilitate informal networking. They allow for real mental recovery, and they renew energy. Just a simple change of scenery into a bright atrium can make all the difference in how delegates perform when they finally head back into the main room. And this brilliantly illustrates the common pitfalls organizers run into. Look at this venue booking checklist derived from the source. Mistake number 1, choosing light without checking for glare on the screens. Mistake 2, ignoring how the light angle dictates the room layout, which results in awkward seating where half the room is squinting into the sun. Mistake 3, completely forgetting that hybrid cameras need balanced, even lighting. And mistake 4, choosing a venue purely because it looks beautiful in photos, while totally ignoring the vital ecosystem elements like AV, acoustics, and comfort. So, what does this all mean? I want to leave you with this final thought. Natural light sets a magnificent stage. It boosts mood, it sustains energy, and it signals to adult learners that their time is truly valued. But does your chosen venue complete the picture? Does it blend that gorgeous light flawlessly with layout, comfort, and technology? Think about this delicate ecosystem the next time you plan a corporate training session, and you'll be well on your way to creating an environment where true learning actually happens. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.